Hey you, I'm so glad you're here today. I'm Jenny Prochko from Owls and Indigo, and I make videos about spirituality, goal setting, journaling, mental health and awareness, and my story. Today I want to share with you my February bullet journal setup that features a watercolor painting for the snow moon, which is the full moon of February. So let's go ahead and get into my journal and plan together. So like usual, I'm starting off with my Dymo label maker. I'm obsessed with this thing. I use it for everything. I love using it in my bullet journal. I'm also creating the moon wheel for the month, and you can see in my year ahead that I already have all of my monthly calendars and lunar wheels set up in the beginning of my journal. If you're interested in how I set that up, I'll leave that linked up above and down below. It's in my yearly plan with me. And here is the snow moon, full moon watercolor for this month. The snow moon is on the 27th of February this year in the Northern Hemisphere. If you like this painting and you want it for your own bullet journal, or if you want to print it and hang it up or send it to a friend, I have this available as a postcard in my shop. I'll leave it linked down below. Like I said last month, I am very new to watercolor in terms of doing it in the correct way. I always just kind of did it my own way, and this year I'm really trying to get to know the tools and the actual paper and different types of watercolor supplies and elements. And so I'm focusing on using watercolor paper this year, and I'm using tube watercolors and cake watercolors. This month I used all tube watercolors, so more wet, saturated watercolors, and I'll leave the ones that I use linked down below. I still need to update my brushes. I like how this turned out, but I do want to get more detailed in the future with my paintings, and I'm going to need a finer detail brush. I have some, but the bristles aren't quite long enough, and I feel like I don't have that much control. Now I'm moving on to the mountains. I'm roughly sketching them in and working with some more saturated pigments for the gray to try and get the slope shadows down. And you'll see I don't go into very much detail because this is going to be behind the trees that are in the foreground of this painting. I'm so thankful that when I mixed up this color that it wasn't too black. I used a really dark green that I had in my collection of those wet watercolor tubes. I'm so grateful that the black wasn't too much. And today I wanted to show you a couple of different ways that you can do the trees for this painting. First, you can start in by putting in little hash marks that are going upwards. And in the next one, you'll see that I'm doing branches that go downwards and then crossing them into hash marks. And you can get kind of wild and crazy with this because we're going to be going in and filling in details later. And in this one, you can see I'm doing actual exits down the tree. So there are 3 different ways that you can do these, and they turn out really nice. Now I'm just going back in and filling in those gaps to sort of fluff out the tree a little bit more and add some more branches. And you can see in the background, those slope shadows just kind of fade into the background and you don't really see it that much. Now I'm going in with some straight up white pigment. This is very saturated. I didn't water it down at all. This is just straight from the watercolor tubes. And I'm using that for the snow on the mountains. And I love how in person it gives it a little bit of a texture too. If you like this painting and you want it for your own bullet journal, or if you want to print it and hang it up or send it to a friend, I have this available as a postcard in my shop. I'll leave it linked down below. Next, I'm adding some snow to the branches of the trees. And you can see here, I'm going kind of sporadically with the snow. I'm trying to make it look like the snow is laying on top of the branches. And this is where I needed a finer detail brush. But in the end, I like the way that it turned out. And now peeling back the tape is always so satisfying. And you can see this month I'm actually using a glass plate and clear tape to create this watercolor painting. All I did for the glass was I just took the glass out of an old frame that I wasn't using, and it worked out perfectly. And here is my finished full moon, snow moon watercolor painting. Again, if you like this and you want it for your bullet journal, or if you want to hang it up in your home or send it to a friend, I'll leave the link to this print in my shop down below. Next, I'm moving on to my monthly calendar overview. I didn't use this last month, and I was kind of surprised that I decided I wanted to do it again this month, but I feel like the layout last month just wasn't really working with me. So for this month, I have a bigger section for my priority tasks, and then I'm putting my focus down below in the smaller section next to February. And here's where I'm going to be putting in my goal for the month, or just the mindset that I want to have for the month. Next, I'm moving on to my first weekly spread. I like to start off in the top left corner with my top 3 biggest tasks, my leftovers from last week, my new tasks that come up this week, and the 2 best things that happened during the week. And I'm using a silver tool marker here for the accent, and also a super tips marker for the blue. This is how I set up all of my weekly spreads. I do very minimal setups. I do M and then the date, and then I have my top 3 priorities, and then just an hour log because I like to keep track of my time. And now I'm putting in the moon phase dates for the week too. In this weekly spread, I'm filling in the sections from my daily flow. This is from my Ayurvedic clock bullet journal video. I show you how to set it up in that video, and then also how to align your day with the Ayurvedic clock and give your body and your mind a easier way to go about the day, ebb and flow with the energy of the day, like when you rise, when you have the most energy during the middle of the day, and then when your energy starts to wane and slow down. So check that video out. I'll have that linked up above and down below too. This is my shop planning page. This is kind of similar to a mental inventory. I also have one for my filming day plan. There's a lot of tasks that go along with keeping a shop and filming, and I like to have these 2 spreads to just get out my ideas or get down any of my to-dos so I don't forget them. This marker died on me, so I had to run out and get something that I have been waiting on getting. I've been wanting to get metallic watercolors for a very long time now. When my marker finally ran out, I was like, okay, now is the time. Let's do this. And you'll see what these pages look like at the end of the video. This is the last spread of the month, my rolling task list. On the left side, I have a section for my monthly mantra, so it can keep me motivated while I'm working on my tasks for the month. The exclamation point is for important task. The clock is for how long it will take. The TR is for Trello. It's a task management system that I use for my 2 businesses. And then I have the days of the week here and when it's due. And then next to that, I will have what the task is. And each day I do a different type of work. This helps me stay on top of my goals and work tasks. Before we get into the final flip through, I wanted to share with you my first 2 books, a daily tarot journal uncovering the art of the 1-card tarot reading, and a year of spiritual growth and mindful goal setting, 365 mindfulness journal prompts. If you haven't seen the visualization from this book, I'll leave the video link down below. You should totally check it out. Make sure you grab a copy of these journals today. The link is in the description. If you haven't seen the video of the visualization that I share from this book, I'll leave that link down below. This visualization is going to help you see what your goals actually look like once you've accomplished them. And you don't have to wait for the beginning of a new month or the beginning of a new year. You can start your goals at any time of the year, and this journal is going to help you do that. And so is the visualization from this journal too. Make sure you grab your copy today. The link is in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.